This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Hi, I'm Steve Irvin with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Governor Doug Ducey announcing 3 new executive orders as COVID-19 continues to spread across the state. The first on vaccines. The governor says once approved, they will be free for all Arizonans. The first doses expected to be on the ground in 14 to 21 days. He also outlined part of the distribution plan, saying teachers and law enforcement will now be added to frontline healthcare workers, Native Americans, and those in long-term care facilities as the first to get the new vaccine. The governor also announcing $60 million in additional funding for hospitals to add around 500 nurses to their staffs. 2 other big takeaways: an executive order requiring local jurisdictions to publicly post events involving more than 50 people and the mitigation efforts they will institute. Another order related to restaurants, making it easier to expand outdoor dining space, paired with new funding to help restaurants make that happen. Also new, any business that has had 2 substantiated complaints against it will face closure. Despite today's announcement, all of this is still much less than what some health experts wanted. Just this afternoon, this letter from leaders of several hospital networks recommending several mitigation efforts, including a statewide curfew. Here's the governor's response on why he is not doing that.
I believe we should instead focus on accountability and enforcing the rules we have in place now, and taking a targeted approach to ensure we all participate in the safety precautions we know work.
Will these latest measures from Governor Ducey and Dr. Christ be enough? Another 3,800 new coronavirus cases were reported today, and while that is a big drop from yesterday's of 10,000, it does not tell the whole story. Yesterday, more than 50% of hospital beds and emergency rooms across Arizona were taken up by suspected coronavirus patients. That is a record high. Only 10% of ICU beds are open right now, and nearly every other metric tracking how coronavirus is impacting our hospitals is also on the rise. The city of Phoenix deciding to cancel dozens of upcoming youth sports tournaments involving thousands of teams. They were scheduled to happen through February and originally received approval to implement COVID-19 guidelines, restrictions, and policies and carry on. However, last week, Mayor Kate Gallego said she was gravely concerned about the potential spread at these tournaments. The U Arizona Public Health Program Director tells us the biggest concern wasn't necessarily the tournament itself, but everything else that happens before and after the games.
They're going to be staying and circulating around, staying in hotels, Airbnbs, but they're not just going to be quarantining themselves, right? They're going to be going to restaurants, different activities. I don't believe the guidelines that are used are also going to be strict enough in terms of requiring everyone to get tested multiple times during their participation or coming and going in and out of the state.
The City Council voted 7-2 to cancel all field reservations. This is effective tomorrow.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign...
Arizona's newest senator taking office today, Senator Mark Kelly, sworn in, making this the first time Arizona is represented by 2 Democrats since the early 1950s. Kelly is being sworn in before other newly elected members because this was a special election to finish the term of the late Senator John McCain. And with Kelly sworn in, the Senate still stays in Republican control with a 52-48 split. The only way that changes is if both Senate runoff elections go blue in Georgia.
Tracking your forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sullins, and a lot of wind today as cooler air starts to move in. Those breezes sticking around through the overnight hours and through much of the day tomorrow in parts of our state. So here's Futurecast as we take you into that overnight forecast. And you can see going into early tomorrow morning, still very breezy here in the valley and even a bit windy across southern Arizona. Those winds don't start to lighten up until after sunset tomorrow night. Temperatures also looking a little bit cooler. There's your Valley Planner, 52 at 9 a.m., 62 at noon. And a high of only 67 here in Phoenix tomorrow. Temperatures in the 50s for Prescott, Sedona, and Payson, and upper 30s to near 40 degrees along the Bookie on-ramp. There's the next 7 days here for you. We'll spend another day in the 60s on Friday, but then we start to climb again. Temperatures back in the 70s starting this weekend, and overnight lows will be climbing to upper 40s by the start of next week.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, head to abc15.com or download the free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.